Oh man, I've just been been so sick without my Astro Point podcast. Where's it been? Guess what, guys? It's here. It's right now. It's happening. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Astro Point. My name's Vinny. With me are my friends and co-hosts Ryan. Say hello, Ryan.
What's up?
And Steven. Say hello, Steven.
Giddy up.
Giddy up indeed. Today we're going to catch you right back up on what's been going on, as well as talk about health a little bit.
That was real good, man.
Yeah, no. Nice
Thanks,
intro.
I appreciate it. I've introed once or twice. Literally probably once or twice or three times. How many
times.
of these have we done?
Four,
I've introed
technically,
3 times.
but 3 have only been released. So that secret episode will never be shown.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
From the vault. Oh, so bad.
I mean, it's a gem.
Yeah.
You know how much space that took up from like us thinking we were gonna do video?
Yeah, and we definitely would have needed
The file size of the folder I had for all of our audio and video was, I think, 20 gigabytes.
Yeah, we would have needed stacks of hard drives to keep that up.
Damn.
Been rough.
But anyways, welcome back, everyone. Sorry we've been gone for so long. Each of us have either been busy and or sick, so we felt like it was appropriate to do an episode about health. But first, let's talk about what we've been doing in the meantime. Steven, you want to start?
Well, while these boys...
Oh, okay. Vin, you got it.
Go ahead. Yeah, Vin's got it. Go
off.
ahead.
No, Vin's coming in hot. He's ready. What are you doing?
While these boys were off being ill, I went to Emerald City Comic Con and had a great time meeting some comic book legends. I cosplayed as Batman for 2 of the 4 days I was there. It was a good time. I had never done a Batsuit that looked that good before, and so that was pretty neat because anytime you walked by a child, you were just like making their life.
Yeah, no, that's gotta be really cool.
It was a very rewarding feeling, but it was also hilarious because you're Batman and so you shouldn't be smiling. But every time I saw a child just lighting up, it was really hard not to smile. But
yeah, that's a good moment in and of itself, man.
Oh yeah, I got to meet Stan Lee twice. Both times were very brief, so that was kind of funny. It kind of felt like he was in Space Jam when the Monstars threatened Michael Jordan with just signing autographs for the rest of his life. That was kind of what it felt like with Stan Lee.
It's really just appearances and cameos. That's it.
Yeah. You're gonna sign autographs for the rest of your life, and then you're gonna cameo in every movie, but you'll always lose. I don't know what he's losing, but
his dignity.
Nice.
Yes, yeah, there you go. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he was enjoying it or not. Was the thing.
But the guy, he does it a lot, so that's got to be exhausting.
Well, yeah, the guy is 94 years old.
Wow.
So, I believe this is his last set of conventions that he's doing right now. So
that's impressive.
Yeah, it was an honor to meet him, definitely.
You know how he made it to 94?
He was probably just absorbing the youth of everyone that reads his books.
Oh, I was gonna make a transition into being healthy, but yeah, no, probably that.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin that.
No, it's okay. He's probably Shang Tsunging it up, stealing everyone's life force.
Shang Tsung.
What a way to go, though. That wouldn't be so bad,
Death by Stan Lee.
Yeah. I am sure that there are plenty of loyal comic heads that would love to give their soul to increase his life,
Yeah, probably.
I'd do it.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, don't.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's fine as long as Stan Lee will replace you on the podcast.
Excelsior, true believers!
That was a pretty good impression.
Thank you. Meet Stan Lee twice. Does perfect impression.
Anything else you've been up to, Vin? Been working on any special projects? Anything?
No. Once I was done with the bat suit, I kind of decided to take it easy for a while because it was kind of consuming my social life. So I've just sort of been kind of coming down from the Comic-Con high, trying to catch up on all my weekly books and whatnot, and cleaning up around my place. That's all I've really been doing.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. What about you, Steven?
Well, I mean, I am just now recovering from what I thought was my death.
As all illnesses feel like.
You know, it feels good to be back. I was talking to my friend Mars, and I was saying, like, you don't appreciate your health until you're questioning if you're about to fucking die or not.
Yep. And that's one of the realest, like, moments that you can have in life.
No, I think I was just being a baby. It's funny, though, because last Thursday, our friend Shin was in town. And I was having lunch with him, and we were talking about, for whatever reason, we came on the topic of, like, you know, getting sick and, like, I think food poisoning and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just saying, like...
That's when you're wishing that you could just end it.
Food poisoning, yeah. Oh, my God. But, yeah, like, so that Thursday we were talking about it, and I'm like... It was kind of like that Seinfeld conversation when... That episode when George and Jerry are talking about how, like, they haven't thrown up in years.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was me. Like, I hadn't gotten sick in so long. And so we were just talking about, like, it's weird as a kid, you know, like, you're constantly sick and, like, you know, throwing up and whatever. So I guess I was just, like, I was asking for it. I was, like, laughing at my health, like, haha, like, I'm indestructible, nothing can happen. And then that night, you know, woke up in the morning, or like 4:30 or something, and it was all bad. It was real tough.
Wait, so you were talking about that with Shin, and then that very same night you
Yeah.
just got sick?
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
was it the same night?
It was the same, like, so it was Thursday afternoon, and then, yeah, that night is when I got sick.
Man,
Good Lord.
that's insane.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like, but I sent him, because I wasn't sure at first if it was food poisoning, so I messaged him like, hey, are you sick too? And he said he was fine, so I was like, man, I must have just got something else. But there's a weird nostalgia to throwing up. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I agree.
It's like, it's like seeing an old friend that, like, you hate, you know, but...
I'm with Reeb on this one.
Wait, how many old friends do you have that you hate?
Maybe a couple. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
if we're being real, but
just me and
no, no, wrong. Won't air them out on the podcast like that, but no, it's one of those things. Like, I didn't enjoy it, but it was just like. It's a feeling, you know, that you'll never forget, but you kind of do forget until it happens again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate throwing up. It's like, you know, it's a weird nostalgia because you've done it your whole life, you know.
Yeah,
and
I think
I don't know if
when I was younger, I hadn't thrown up in a really, like, in years. Like, there was like a 3-year gap between throwing up for me at some point when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, throwing up for, like, so long and being like, did I always, when I used to throw up all the time, like, was it always, like, this long? Because I felt like I was going to, like, suffocate because I was just vomiting for so long.
Oh, right.
This got
also,
real
there's
gross
something...
real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's for your health.
Yeah, so sorry to all the listeners that are kind of grossed out by this. But one thing that I will say that's, like, really funny about being an adult and throwing up is, you know, your voice changes throughout the years, right? You know, progressively gets a little deeper or whatever. And so I think probably like hearing me throw up when I was younger probably wasn't as bad, but now as an adult, like it seriously, it sounded like somebody, like I was being possessed and I was trying to get the demon out. You know what I mean?
Right. See, the last time I threw up was when I turned 21, and I don't remember throwing up because you were taking care of me, Steven. So you could speak more on how I was sounding than anyone else.
Listen, I don't know if you really like, if you're looking for like a bonding exercise, I don't know if anything's ever brought us closer than me holding. Damn, this is real candid. But me holding a bowl and Ryan throwing up into the bowl, and then like taking care of you afterwards.
Right.
There's nothing.
No,
there's nothing.
That's true.
I haven't had the experience of like a friend being there for me when I throw up from alcohol. Because I'm normally at like the frat house.
Oh right.
And I'm just throwing up into a massive trash can that's in the bathroom.
I imagine that trash can is like just the cesspool of everyone's vomit. All just
one time I was sober this night. I walked into like the third floor bathroom of our buddy's frat house, and there was just a dude like he was half naked in like one of the showers with like the fucking huge ass garbage can like upside down on top of him. like he was laying there and it was like across his stomach.
College is wild, y'all.
That's crazy. One of my favorite stories I've heard, not from anyone that I know personally, but I just heard it like around the way, was this dude who was in a frat house. Like, this is the most like frat thing ever. Well, I'll keep my slander to a minimum there.
Yeah, what a statement.
Yeah, no, I'll stop the potential slander there. But no, he this person like threw up, and then to cover up the throw up, he just poured beer over it, and then like kind of like rubbed it in with his foot, and then was like that. It was good. Like,
all right. Well, going off of rubbing in beer to your vomit with your foot, Reeb, have you done anything else that's extraordinarily bizarre these past couple of weeks?
I don't think I can live up to that kind of status in terms of bizarreness, but I was sick a little bit ago, probably a week before Steven was. So that's kind of, again, why these episodes have been so delayed. It's just bad timing on everyone's part.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Comic-Con, and then Ryan getting sick, and then Steven getting sick. It was a bit of a mess.
Right. I mean, stress it's a bad thing, man. Stress definitely makes your body more vulnerable to getting sick. But things that I did in the meantime, since of these episodes, I feel like I've been trying to take care of that stress quite a bit. So, like, doing a lot of art pieces. I've been doing some more painting. I just got a marker, like a Copic marker, so one of those really like those really fine tipped markers. I've never done anything with those ever, but I am in love with it. And I bought a little notebook that I've been doodling in. People seem to enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. It's very relaxing for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the heart one that you did was really dope.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm loving those little, like, you sent me one that was essentially like a ton of different basic shapes and patterns, and it spoke to me.
Yeah, no, there's something about it too. Yeah, there's this guy that I watch on YouTube. His name's Peter Draws. Fantastic art channel. I highly recommend it. But his philosophy, which is basically what got me into it, is everything's just lines and different shapes, lines and dots, lines and circles, lines and squares. It's all easy stuff. And so, I guess that was a part of art that I disliked, is not being clean, like very concise. That's why I hate watercoloring, just because it's so splotchy. But yeah, like I've been watching more of it, and I'm starting to warm up to the idea. But like with the Copic marker, I am so precise with everything. It feels fantastic. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I've never done anything with that before. So to find such a simple tool to make something with that's very enjoyable for me, I'm
that's awesome.
Also started some gardening. That's becoming the new sensation in my brain. I'm doing a lot of reading up on trying to like crossbreed some peppers. So like I'm growing jalapenos, thinking about starting up like some habaneros or like some cayenne peppers and stuff like that. Now I'm going to try and crossbreed them together. So get some like jalapenos or
jalapenos.
Yeah, or habaneros. I don't know how you call those. But again, like if I was doing yeah, if I was trying to crossbreed that kind of stuff, again, I wouldn't get the fruits of my labor until the year after, because that's how genetics work. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with my time. I find gardening very relaxing. We're gonna build a garden area in our backyard, me and one of my roommates. So I got to do some woodworking, which I always enjoy. We're gonna create probably like a 6 to 8 foot gardening area, so we can like put up nets around the area so birds don't, attack all of our plants as they're growing and all that. But yeah,
that's great.
Those are what I have been doing and my plans in the future. I've also been having a hankering to make some more music as well, so people might expect something dropping in a month or so. Who knows?
Very nice.
Get on it, dude. That's great.
Dude, it's good to hear that you got those juices flowing, man.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, creatively, like there's a resurgence going on. And then in school as well, I have been trying to tackle more leadership positions and all that such. So there's a lot of planning going on in there, which can be stressful at times. So I'm like trying to really ramp up my creativity to get rid of the stress that I'm trying to bring upon myself as I go through school.
Definitely. Yeah, no, there's nothing, at least for me, that makes me feel better than when I have something new to do creatively.
Right.
Yeah, so I totally get that. I think that's why sometimes I'll just take some time off of music and just do like physical art or digital illustrations, or I'll just like push myself with new, genre elements or work on a new project altogether. It's as long as you're keeping it new with whatever you're doing,
right,
creatively. Yeah, that really helps you, because when you I don't know, I'm sure you guys have been the same way whenever you're working on a project, whether it's, a video that you're editing or music, or like Vin, when you were doing those the illustrations for work,
Mm-hmm.
When you can get a little too over flooded with the same thing, then you can get uninspired. So I think it's good to branch out and just try as many different things as possible. That really helps.
Absolutely. Yeah, switching mediums is so incredibly refreshing, especially recently. Yeah, like I think that's definitely what's been keeping me going, is just bouncing back and forth from all these different kinds of mediums. Like if I'm not in the mood to draw, I'll pick up my bass, play around with that for the day. Or if I'm not feeling like playing music, I'll draw. And if I'm not feeling like drawing, I can paint. Or, there's a lot of things I can bounce around to now, and it feels good.
Yeah, I think people should, like, that's something we should be taught more when we're young, is like, they tell us like self-expression's good and you should do things, but they never tell you like, don't like limit yourself in your self-expression, because there could be one thing that you just can't express through a certain medium that you need to do in another way.
Right. No, I totally agree. And that's been one of the biggest problems for me, is so much of my life I didn't go into certain mediums because I was like, well, I've never been taught how to do it, or I've never tried, so what I make is going to be bad and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just stick with the things that I'm comfortable with. But then again, like, you just kind of become bored of it, or, you know, it's not as much fun. And then you just stop doing creative pieces, which is a problem. Right. But like, my biggest advice to anyone is just go out there. Like, if you see something that someone is doing and you feel very inspired to try and do something like that, or just as the medium in general, you're very inspired by it, even if you have no experience whatsoever, just go out and do it, because it's fantastic.
And like, one thing that's actually you can benefit from doing it that way is, like, I know with me, like, musically, you know, not having proper training musically, like not having piano lessons or playing in band or anything, that lack of ability eventually led to, like, my own voice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I find it's almost better to not have been taught by anyone, because then you get to learn about every single process all by yourself. And by doing that, you're teaching yourself and you're creating your own unique voice, which is awesome once it gets developed.
Right. Yeah, because, like, I
feel the same way about drawing and even editing in a way.
Right. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who watched that How to Celebrate 311. A lot of that video was the first time I had ever, like, truly edited something for comedic purposes. So glad everyone enjoyed that.
Right. Yeah, you did a really good job too, because, like, it can be a frustrating process, because, like, the first day I could tell you were getting a little frustrated with it. Well, and I mean, you were also learning the program, and that can be frustrating too.
Yeah, that program is not the greatest, but
yeah.
Oh well.
But no, that second day, like, of editing, you were just like, you got it. You were like, okay, this should be a jump cut. This works here, you know?
Yeah, and I said that when we sat down, and I go, dude, I feel like I'm about to pop off real quick and just crank this out. And it felt good. Like, we connected on basically everything we wanted to have happen without even having to say much. And that's something that's really cool. Like, creating things with friends is once you get to that level of synergy that you don't even have to speak and just know what you guys want, it's, man, nothing else can compare.
Absolutely. Yeah, like when the now Astro Point classic of A Piece of Cake that we made in high school, like, we made that, like, it was an improv, like, shooting and everything, and then, like, Vin completely handled the editing process and, like, 100% nailed it, like, did exactly everything we wanted.
Yeah, we gave him, like, no notes or anything. He's just like, all right, I got this.
I think I just, like, I knew what you wanted from what, like, from how it was shot. I knew exactly what you were expecting it to look like, so I was like, all right.
Exactly. And it could not have been put together any better way. Like, and again, just having that level of synergy is so fantastic.
Hey, what's the color of our synergy?
Amber.
Does it even need to be said?
It's always amber. Come on. Whoa.
I always hear it, like,
I think the best part about A Piece of Cake is that I entered it into my own film festival and I edited it.
and I got third place.
It feels very controversial when you put it that way, but that's okay.
I wasn't on the board of judges.
That's true. See, yeah, it's not as bad.
Yeah. I love, like, that's my favorite reaction, though, is, and I feel like this happens a lot with, like, my humor, is, like, something that we'll find hilarious is, like, it's just, like, standard humor to me, and then you show it to someone, they're like, what is this? Like, they're really confused, and it makes them feel uncomfortable.
I showed A Piece of Cake to one of my friends from work, and she was, I don't even think she, like, laughed at any of it.
Right. No, yeah, just absolutely flabbergasted at, like, we could think this was funny.
Just a little, she was stunned.
Yeah.
That, I think that's the best part of
the capturing
I guess
moment.
If you want to call it alternative comedy or whatever, is just that reaction of that uncomfortableness the whole time. Like,
my sister kind of had that. I showed her the How to Celebrate 311, and, like, she laughed at a couple of the parts, but for the most part, she was like, I don't get it.
Right.
Like, that's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Exactly. So I hope people enjoyed that, because that's definitely moving forward when we do comedy videos like that. That is definitely the brand of humors. Maybe some of it's funny, probably most of it makes you feel uncomfortable, and that's good. That's what we want.
A good friend of mine in pharmacy school came up to me. He's been watching our videos and all that, and he goes, "Who is 311?" And I'm like, damn. Like, I felt like we probably should have harped on that idea a little bit more. Just the fact that they're a fantastic band.
Julie has no idea who 311 is either. She.
But like, he enjoyed the video, but he was just like, I have no idea who 311 is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I mean, at least we could
we
create
gotta remember
something
that
enjoyable and them have no idea what the topic was at hand.
Yeah, we have to remember that it's not 2001 anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Sadly.
Which is
absolutely.
like a hard thing for me to grasp.
That's 16 years ago, guys.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I hate that. Can I just say real quick? I hate that, you know how like trends recycle every 10 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something like that. I hate seeing like early 2000s stuff now pop up in like pop culture, like fashion wise, because it's the worst. It's the worst era of clothes. Like there's like
sparkly, like silver kind of stuff. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, that, and then like, you know, the real small, like fucking stupid looking sunglasses that look really small on your face, and like it's essentially like the kids that live in like New York that are like real artsy and like live in a small ass apartment. That, like, you know, the Tumblr kids, it's like them. It seems like when I go online, those are the kids that are like, you know, leading the pack and like wearing
early 2000s clothing.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, the big baggy like what are they called, like Jinko jeans or whatever. Yep. Those, you know, the real like rough denim, like deep blue.
Jinko jeans, dude.
That's a great name.
So
That's the
bad.
name of something.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, do you express yourself however you want, but I will certainly not be hopping on that bandwagon.
Nope, not a chance.
Well, going off of, like, early 2000s kind of turn of the century kind of thing, they're talking about doing another Matrix movie. And if they're going to continue the Matrix, is it still going to be 1999 inside of the Matrix?
I hope not.
That's an interesting point.
I'd like to see it further ahead, but who knows?
Well, like, how would the robots, like, you know, how would the machines do that?
They probably have like some sort of algorithm being like, okay, we're just gonna have this randomly churn out a new, you know, like
more futuristic technology.
Basically, yeah, just like they have their own simulation to see things are progressing, but it's not.
How would the machines not create the machines within the Matrix?
Because they're smart enough to know not to lead them down that path.
How would they know?
Probably.
I mean, I feel like there's
or they just wipe everyone's memory and then reset the cycle again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Like, I don't know. It's bizarre. That's a weird thing.
Also, what's the fashion going to be like? Because how they were dressing is like now how like Kanye's like Yeezy line looks. So
yeah, it's true, huh?
So yeah, how are people just going to be wearing like normal clothes in the future? Like
I just want people to keep looking like Morpheus. That's okay.
Like Hannibal Buress.
Both like in real life and in the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know, as long as we get another banger like Club to Death on the soundtrack, dude, that's what I care about.
I love in movies when they do sequels and the people that play robots have aged. Like Michael Fassbender in the new Alien movie.
You like that? The fact that like
it's funny to me.
Oh, okay. As humor, I'm like, I always find it gross, man. I'm like, why is this happening?
It's just, I don't know. It's something you can't really. There's nothing you can do about it. But it's just it's a funny concept to me.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I just thought of it off the top. So I've been watching a few movies in the meantime as well, hanging out with some friends. You know, trying to relax. So I've seen 2 movies in probably like the past 2 or 3 weeks now. One of them I watched with you, Steven, Get Out. absolutely fantastic. We've talked about it so much. I think we could talk about it for another 3 hours if we honestly wanted to. Yeah. But the other film that I saw was The Belko Experiment, and not good.
Oh, it wasn't good, really.
James Gunn did it again.
Okay.
Making a not good movie.
It's like
the man who wrote Scooby-Doo
like
2's
Office Space
Monsters
meets
Unleashed.
like Battle Royale. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they failed in that execution.
I think the problem again was me watching Get Out, and then the next week watching this and just being like, I want there to be a reason why any of this happened.
Right.
And there was none.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, yeah, we were having that conversation. It's like, I mean, it's hard not to, I'm sure people are sick of seeing all the Get Out praise or whatever, because it's like, but it's so hard to say anything bad about it. Because
it absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, it deserves all the praise it's getting because it's so absolutely smart, and it proves that like American audiences can handle a smart movie that they can delve into and explore these deeper themes.
And it's enjoyable to do so.
Right, exactly. That's my favorite part is getting it's the juiciest movie. You can there's so much symbolism and social commentary and everything. So yeah, I feel you. Like when you can't experience that, it's like, well, it's like the way you view a movie is different,
Right.
It
like I experienced
that.
This incredible high watching Get Out, and then to watch the Belko Experiment and just be like, this was absolutely senseless and there was nothing to it, no sustenance, nothing. I'm like, this movie sucked.
Right.
Was not good.
And there's nothing wrong with like, good dumb movies, cuz listen,
it wasn't.
And,
it wasn't.
Right. And maybe it was a transition period too. Like maybe you need to like have a come down from it, you know what I mean?
No, like if I watched Die Hard, I would have been happy. Watching that movie, not good.
I love that Die Hard was the movie that you chose to come down from Get Out.
Well, like it's senseless violence,
dude.
Oh yeah, Bloodsport would have been fantastic.
Love it.
But you're just like, what? I wish you guys have seen the Belko Experiment, so then I could just vent on how bad it was.
Damn. Yeah,
I haven't seen either movie yet.
Man, you should definitely see Get Out. Like Get Out deserves the theater experience because
I've been planning on it. It's just I haven't found a good time to do it, but maybe I'll get that done with. Maybe I'll go do that tonight.
Yeah. I've never experienced a theater experience like that where it's weird. I don't want to spoil the movie. I mean, besides Vin, I don't know who hasn't seen this movie at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go into the movie and how the plot goes along the first 20, 30 minutes, you feel really uncomfortable. At least I've seen it 3 times, and every time I felt that. And I think that's kind of how it is. Like when you go into like a movie theater and you're sitting next to all these people, and it's kind of, or like meeting people in a group experience, and then by the end of the movie, everybody like is on the same team, and you're experiencing the same thing and the same emotions together. And like I don't want to spoil it again, but there's a particular moment at the end of the movie which is so beautiful because it captivates so much about our society without having to say a word, because everybody reacts the exact same way of what they are expecting to happen. But there's a sigh. I won't ruin it anymore, but the feeling that everybody experiences right at that moment is like, it's such a bonding experience in a weird way.
It's incredibly impactful when you look around and you realize that everyone was feeling the exact same way. And it speaks so largely on what our society has been experiencing in the past couple of years. Because like I was talking to a friend of mine in pharmacy school, and he saw it, and like all I had to say was that ending, and he goes, yeah, dude, I was feeling the same exact thing. And like that immediate connection being like, one, incredible directing to actually make everyone feel the exact same way and corral them basically or mentally into the same area to have us all try and like see what's coming, and then to shake it up, and you're like, man, that speaks a lot.
Man, on a side note, I also saw Logan.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Logan. Very sad.
Yeah, no, it's so like it's one of those things where like I'm not as big of a comic book head as you guys, and I never really I've seen some of the X-Men movies like when they first came out, but I kind of lost interest in the series, and I think some people have felt it's definitely gotten its fair share of criticism.
Right.
But Logan is such a beautiful, just standalone film that again, it's apples and oranges with Get Out, but it's the same thing where we've been fed the same concept of like these X-Men movies, and then they just like flip that idea on its head and give you just this completely like singular, brutal, beautiful like work of art, and you're just like, man, I need more like movies like this, more superhero movies like this, because
right.
I've seen like one writer said like Deadpool, like, because obviously it was really groundbreaking, I guess, in the sense of getting the R rating and people responding well to it, but it's like going with the Deadpool character, it's like an immature R rating, like some of the reasons why it's that R, but then you see Logan and it's like it's the more grown up version of that, and I think that'll be important moving forward, because I think now they know, like, I don't expect
mature audiences want to see films like that.
Exactly. Right.
Because that's the obviously the kids are a huge demographic, but the adults are too. I don't know the percentage of that, but it's like it. I don't know. I think people, it's like it works as like a Western too. Like it's really good. I wasn't expecting to like it that much, but I can definitely give it my approval and recommendation.
That's awesome. Speaking of superheroes, I don't know if you guys have watched the Iron Fist Netflix show.
No, I haven't gotten a chance yet.
I haven't gotten to watch Luke Cage yet either.
Yeah,
I recommend watching Luke Cage first.
So I heard pretty good things about Luke Cage, but I have not heard nearly as much praise about Iron Fist.
Yeah, I watched all of Iron Fist. I felt like it was okay. And that's kind of hard for me. Like, I've been a pretty decent fan of Iron Fist. My dad's a huge fan of Iron Fist. But to, like, watch it, they've definitely done a lot of things, or I shouldn't say a lot of things, but they did some twists and turns away from, like, the normal storyline that you would think of when you think of Iron Fist. Yeah. So, like, some of the main characters, their relationships have changed. So, instead of it being brother and brother, it's now dad and son kind of relationship and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting to, recognize these names, be like, oh, this is who they're supposed to be, but they've changed it. So now I wonder what that's going to be like. Like, it was okay. I felt like some episodes, like each of them were an hour long, and for probably like 30 minutes of each one, I could say are like good, but I feel like they could have used the other 30 minutes in just about every episode to do something better with it.
Yeah.
And then the ending I was very disappointed with, but I'm pretty sure that's just because they're leading into the Defenders. Yeah.
I think, maybe it's just a testament to like my shorter attention span now, but I feel like going into those Netflix Marvel series, it's like I don't want to say it's filler, but they can be a slow burn
sometimes.
Yeah, like
Daredevil season 2.
That's one of the biggest criticisms I saw of Luke Cage was like there's just they could have cut it down maybe a little more, stretching it out. But I think also the way that we view it, if you're just going and binge watching it, you might get a little sick of it versus watching it once a week or whatever,
week by week.
One episode per week.
No, I totally agree.
So, no, I'm sure I will. Both of those shows, actually, I was attracted to on the music alone because Adrian Young and then Ollie from A Tribe Called Quest did the music for Luke Cage. And, so, Adrian Young's a great composer, so I was really excited on that. And then, like, I know on Iron Fist, there's, like, a Cool Kids song.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, and then there's a Run the Jewels song on there, right?
Yeah, no, and that's probably one of my favorite moments, and it's pretty early on in this season. There's this fight scene, and they got Run the Jewels playing, and I'm like, man, this is fantastic. Like, I don't think I could have got any more hyped than this, watching this. Like, it was a good moment.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope that they, put some, decently unknown music in there, and that's cool.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's always nice to hear up-and-coming artists. I don't even know if you can say that about Run the Jewels anymore. They're getting pretty big now.
Right,
exactly,
yeah. Yeah, like I feel like every commercial you can hear some Run the Jewels music. But go ahead, Ben.
Going off of Netflix originals, did you guys see the trailer for the Death Note movie they're doing?
I did.
Yeah.
What are the opinions? Because I've watched Death Note.
Yeah, you've watched more stuff.
I've watched the anime at least 4 times.
Right.
So.
And the live action.
I like to hear your guys' opinion before I state mine, I guess.
I don't know if I can speak too much on it. It looks interesting. Like, I'll definitely watch it for sure, but I'm holding back. I'm gonna be more reserved in this, just because I've been proven wrong before, and sometimes I've been right as well. I don't know. I'm not gonna be putting in too much emotion into this one until I see it.
Yeah. I'm excited if there's definitely the good and the bad, of course. It's gotten its fair share of criticism for not having an Asian actor as the lead.
Right.
Which I don't know. That's a complicated subject. There's a lot of factors.
Definitely.
I definitely see both sides of the argument. I certainly wouldn't defend it by any means.
Hold up. I want to touch on that one subject real quick. I was seeing criticism that the actor who played Iron Fist was not Asian, which makes absolutely no sense because Iron Fist is white in the comic books. Even though, like, it's all very, like, Asian cultured centered, like, the actual superhero is white, and that confused me profoundly. Like,
that's understand. Interesting. I think that kind of goes along with the conversation with in Doctor Strange, how they had I can't forget, or I forget the actress's name, but she played the like the teacher, or
yes,
and the actor, that got some flack, and then the director, he had this like really honest interview where he was saying the reason why he thought that was important to change that character was because in the comic it was kind of written as this racist kind of caricature of an Asian, so that was his like way of going around it. So I think maybe I don't know. I don't know. It's so complicated, and it's a big subject to try and tackle because there's a lot to go into it. But yeah, no, I feel like that's just something that's it's good that we're having these conversations too, because there is obviously a huge lack of diversity in Hollywood.
I agree.
And so, but especially with, anime and things that are, focused on Asian culture, there's always going to be some criticism when Americanizing it, because, it's like, what's going to sell? Who does the director, the cast think is the...
And that's kind of how I've been rationalizing it in my head is, would American audiences that don't know about the anime or anything like that, would they be interested in a story about a Japanese high school student that is murdering criminals?
Right. And see, and
so
like you want to say yes,
Seattle,
but at the same time, who knows?
Exactly. Setting it in Seattle, I think, obviously makes it more relevant to Americans. But
yeah, and because I was talking to my girlfriend Marie, and she was saying that they've done a Death Note movie adaptation already in Japan.
They've done so they've done actually 2 different live action adaptations of Death Note in Japan that were I own the first 2 live action movies they did in like 2007, I want to say, is when they did those. and they did a couple of years ago. They did a live action television show.
Mm-hmm.
So they've done the story in live action twice in Japan.
See that I think that's an interesting part to the conversation too. I will also say though, one thing that I think that we're kind of told is like, and maybe it's just kind of ingrained in us, is like, well, if they don't cast this person that looks like this, it's not going to attract the audience.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like a movie like The Great Wall with Matt Damon, who they chose a white actor because of that, but it didn't do that well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And so,
what's bizarre to me is that Nat Wolff is our lead, and I don't know. I think one of the things that bothers me most about it is that in the story of Death Note, Light, the main character, is like a honor student. He's like one of the smartest kids in Japan, and he's very clean cut. And in what they're doing here, it looks like he's just he looks like a drug dealer.
Yo, he looked like Max Landis.
Yeah, well, he looks like somebody that, like, I think what was shocking about Death Note is that this guy who you think has this big bright future and like he's just like so smart is secretly a murderer, and it doesn't feel as scary when it's like the scene kid from your high school murdering people.
Right. Oh, when it's someone who's already clearly twisted.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah. Twisted. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense.
No, I could see that as well.
So yeah, I guess, I mean, we kind of went off on a tangent there, but I think the point that being in that is like that's something that I always, when these conversations come up, I never want to like being a white person, that's not something I've had to struggle with, seeing people that look like me represented. So that I've never want to like belittle or undermine or be not sympathetic or empathetic towards that, that voice and people feeling that way. So I always take that into consideration when watching these things that have that issue. But I will say though, being optimistic about it, William Dafoe, excited for that.
Definitely. Yeah. I think that will definitely be the best part.
Yeah. And then the guy who what is his name? He's in Get Out. It's like,
the guy from Atlanta.
Lakeith.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing L. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'll definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I think he's great. So I'm excited to see how he does in that as well.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that all we've seen is a minute-long teaser.
Right.
Right. Yeah. I will also say, just from a trailer standpoint, I think it could have been cut better. So I feel like it didn't give it its fair due. So
yeah, I would agree with
and
that.
that's kind of how I was feeling about it as well. And that's why I didn't want to speak too much on it. It's just, I don't know.
And I think that's just because it's very early in post-production right now.
Yeah, I feel like it'll have some good stuff to offer.
Not releasing until August. So.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of something that's coming out before August, did you guys see the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer?
Yes.
I did.
That's a trailer I think that also could have been cut differently, because I feel like I
totally
watched
agree.
the movie when I watched that trailer.
Yeah,
and again, I broke my rule to watch this trailer
by watching the trailer,
and I hated myself after it because I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I felt like I just watched the movie. Why did you ruin it?"
It's so funny. They've been doing that with Spider-Man trailers, since I think Spider-Man 3 was the first one I saw that did that. Amazing Spider-Man did the exact same thing.
Yep.
Amazing Spider-Man 2,
which is why I refused to watch those trailers, because I knew it was going to be a thing, and I broke my rule to watch this one because I was too excited. And nope, felt like I watched the whole.
I think it has to do
movie.
with Sony, probably, because I feel like Sony is not great at trailers.
No, I totally agree. I'm excited for the movie, but man, I felt like I had it ruined.
Yeah, they kind of screwed up on that, because they showed you his his internal conflict.
Yeah,
of his
this
identity.
is what happens. Here's the consequence of that, Here's what's going to happen after that.
He's got the suit. He does something. He messes up. His suit's taken away. He tries to do things on his own. He gets the suit back. I'm like, what's going on? Why did you just tell me this whole thing?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm upset. I'm upset at myself. I shouldn't have done it. I knew I shouldn't have watched the trailer, but so be it.
Especially because it comes out like in the summer, right? So it's like, how else? Like,
July
how much
7th.
more are we gonna see too in the marketing? Like,
none.
Yeah.
I'm not watching
Until
anymore. I refuse.
Yeah. Good idea. Good idea.
Michael Keaton, though.
Oh man,
Michael
good
Keaton.
old Michael Keaton.
Hey, he
That's
actually
my
is
boy.
bringing in like some pretty intense energies from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty excited. This is gonna be a good one. I feel like.
I mean, he's already played a Batman. He played a Birdman. Obviously, the next step is a Vulture.
I love that
You
he's gone
combine
through like
the
the
two.
full spectrum of like superhero movies, like the campy, like classic, Batman, and then like the really dark and like self-aware Birdman role, and now just like back
Just into villain. As,
back into the mainstream as like the villain. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. No. I'm pretty excited. for
I
it.
read something about how on set he kept saying I'm Batman, which I think is hilarious. I'm not sure if it's true, but I really hope it is.
Yeah.
Man.
Fingers crossed.
That's amazing. But yeah,
Man.
no, I'm really. That's probably what I'm most excited about is his performance. I think he's gonna do great in that.
Yeah. That and then Tom Holland. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see his performance. Like, it'll be kind of nice to see a younger Spider-Man. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because we've been told we've got younger Spider-Man before, but it's just been like 30-year-old dudes that are like acting like they're in high school.
Right. But like we've actually hired, or not we, but they have actually hired a actor who is pretty young. Like he has a lot of
what
that
I've heard that they're gonna. What I've heard they're gonna
personality to
try and do is like with the Harry Potter movies, how it like aged with the kids is what they're gonna try and do with the Spider-Man movies,
which is gonna be cool. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then we'll finally get like one coherent string of Spider-Man movies.
Pun intended.
Yes.
Well,
They
okay.
also announced-
Here's
what do you got?
the Venom movie. Was that what you were gonna talk
That's
about?
what I was about to.
Man.
Yes.
Man.
Here's,
Synergy.
Here's the thing with that. Here's the fucking horse shit with that. They don't want to connect
here we
it
go.
to the Marvel universe.
Yep.
So what we're gonna get is essentially the Marvel equivalent of Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yep.
Because what happened with that fucking movie was 1992 Batman Returns comes out, and everyone was like, Michelle Pfeiffer was great in that role as Catwoman. And they were originally going to kill her off, but she was testing so well that they last minute put in a scene where you see her in front of the bat signal at the very end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So their plan was to do a spin-off movie in like a couple of years. Well, audiences did not react well to Batman Returns because it was way darker than the last one. You had Penguin biting a dude's nose and shit. Like, it was ridiculous. So they fired Tim Burton. And then when they did that, Michael Keaton was like, no thanks. So he didn't want to come back for the next one. Mm-hmm. And so Michelle Pfeiffer was still wanting to do Catwoman, but they tried to put that on the back burner because they wanted to focus on getting Batman back on track, which they didn't. So the Catwoman script went through like a million rewrites and, different castings. And eventually Michelle Pfeiffer was like, fuck this, got out of there. And then we eventually got to the point where we got the film Catwoman starring Halle Berry, which has no relation to the goddamn comic book character because it's so goddamn awful. Oh, it's a bad movie! It's bad. If you ever just want to, like, if you want to like die by watching a movie, go watch Catwoman. It's like, it's not just like badly written, badly acted. It's poorly edited. They cut to the same shot, like it'll be somebody talking and then they'll like jump cut to the same shot and like recording of that scene, but like a few seconds later and like a little bit zoomed in. Like it's so poorly done. Oh, it's a terrible.
That's
film.
a good example of anti-synergy.
Yes.
Ooh.
What they're doing with Venom is they wanted to do a Venom solo movie with the Raimi series, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, and Sam Raimi didn't want to put Venom into the movies yet. He was waiting on like either the fourth movie or something, but they really wanted to get it going, so they put him in Spider-Man 3. Turned out to be a disaster, but they still really wanted to do a Venom movie. Yes. Well, yeah, they still wanted to do a Venom movie, and so they started working on that script, and then they decided they were going to reboot Spider-Man, so they put it on the back burner. Amazing Spider-Man happens. They were going to probably put him in Amazing Spider-Man 3. We're not really sure. But, you know, those movies went how they went, so went back on the back burner. But now they're just deciding that, fuck it, we're gonna make our own.
Now's the time.
Yeah. And what's dangerous about that is that you can't... Venom is a character that almost... it relies on Spider-Man being there to be a thing.
Right.
I can't see how it'll work otherwise.
Makes no sense doing it without Spider-Man being in the film.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Because I feel like they had, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but they had a lot of ambitions with the Amazing Spider-Man series, right? They were going to do like the standalone Sinister Six movie, and
and that was pretty much their downfall. They were too ambitious with it. They wanted to get it all going as soon as possible. That's why they killed off Gwen Stacy in their second movie,
which hurt my heart. But that's
man, the real star of Amazing Spider-Man 2, Green Goblin's hair. Am I right, guys?
What? I didn't hear your answer. Who did you say?
His burnt, like, hairspray, Siegfried and Roy.
Get out of here.
You are cutting out literally every time you're giving me an answer.
Oh.
And I feel like it's a blessing and a curse.
I'm just talking about Green Goblin's hair and how bad it was.
Shit. Yeah, Dandy. And it's so funny with that because, like, in the scene where he transforms into the Green Goblin, it just, like, cuts away from him, and then it cuts back, and he's all of a sudden got that fucking hair.
Yeah.
Man, I was excited. Like, the best part about those movies, I felt, was the costume design.
Oh, yeah. The costume for Amazing Spider-Man 2 was fucking gorgeous.
Fantastic.
And that's why it's like when you see a Spider-Man cosplayer, they're almost always wearing that suit because it's a banger and a half.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Like I'm excited for Homecoming. That suit looks cool. Also, I was excited about his homemade suit that they showed in the trailer.
I think that's the same one that he was wearing in Civil War.
Oh, is it? It looks different
when they showed the flashback footage.
Oh, see, I don't know. I'll have to look at that again because I thought it was like a totally different suit, but maybe not. I don't know. Man. I'm excited. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Homecoming as well, but not for Venom.
Well, do we have anything else we want to talk about?
Well, we're just about at the hour mark.
You know,
that's what I'm saying.
And I think after hearing me yell about the Venom movie and Catwoman that people probably don't want to hear my voice anymore.
But see, getting that out is good for your health, which is all tied into this episode, boys. Like, you just got to go out there, do things that are good for your soul, to reduce your stress, to enjoy life, to relax, calm down.
Hey, speaking of enjoying yourselves, can I plug my music real quick?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Get it in there.
Get Out.
The
movie.
Get Out the movie. There we go. Another connection.
Fantastic. Watch it. It's a good.
Watch it, please. But if all goes accordingly, I've been kind of keeping this low key. I don't really want to do too much talking about it. I just kind of want to put it out there. But if we release this podcast on Friday, there should also be a new project that I just released the same day, No Hero Volume 5. So
nice.
That most likely is the case, and we'll have the link down below to listen to it. So if you guys aren't familiar with my music and want to hear my latest release, it will be available.
It's gonna be full of the hashtag bangers.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the idea of it, but hopefully people think the same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to hear it. You've been pretty quiet. You're doing a good job making it secretive, so
yeah,
go out there and check it.
Because I knew it was coming, but I don't even know if I've heard any samples, which you almost always give me. So
yep. Same here.
I'll just say it's been it's me with music. I tinker with things for a long time. For the most part, this is something it's relatively old, but I still stand by it and hope people will enjoy it.
Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, you've always been making good content.
Indeed, dude. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna put in another plug.
Do it.
Our friend Levi, he's got his new series going up, The Hot Kitchen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about health, this is literally what his content is based around, is trying to come up with healthy meals that you can make at a college level budget.
Yes, and it's
got
been,
good comedy.
It's actually been a handy resource, actually.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's fantastic. So highly recommend you guys check that out. 7 Athletics.
Yeah, we'll put the link down below. If I can, not to give myself too much plugs here, but I did the animation sequence with the illustrations,
and it looked fire.
Worked with Levi on that.
Nicely
so
done.
Hopefully, thank you very much. That was fun to do. So yeah, definitely check their channel out, folks.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing though. You guys have gotten to plug something.
Yep.
It's
plug it in, Dan.
It's fucking my turn. All right. Planters Peanuts.
Nut space. Let's go.
Get in my nut space, dude. For the crispity crunch that you crave, unless you're allergic to peanuts, always buy Planters. They got honey roasted, they got regular roasted, they got nuts.
All right, damn it. Since you said it, I have to talk about it real quick. So you said something about nut allergies. There's currently a vaccine in the development pipeline. It's being developed by one of the big pharma companies, I know. But they're creating a vaccine that is going to make your peanut allergy go away.
Wow.
If it works.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's in phase 3 trials right now. And so once it's in phase 4, that's when it hits the market. So if everything goes well in phase 3, which is like long-term trials, it'll be out in the market, and you won't have a peanut allergy if that's how it works.
That's tight.
Bye, nut.
Yeah, bye, nut. All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
All right.
Yes.
Wait. Vin,
once again,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. Let's get into like a bare knuckle brawl on who's ending this. Let's go.
No, I just want to say it's good to be back, and we hopefully will not take any more hiatuses like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody being
fuck you
patient
guys.
with
I'm not
us.
recording next week.
Vin's out of the band.
Fuck up. I'm not coming back.
Vin's out of the band.
Fuck off.
But yeah,
it's over. I'm done. I'm plugging.
Thanks, guys. Peace out. We appreciate you listening if you made it this far.
If you did, give us a giddy up down in the comments.
Giddy up.
Peace.